everyone. It has been a long time since I made my last video. And that's because we have spent the last 4 weeks prepping, sanding, and painting the walls, the ceilings, and the trim. And I made a ton of footage, but the truth is that watching someone paint is almost as boring as watching paint dry. So here is a very condensed version of 4 weeks worth of work. So let's show you what we've been doing over this last month. Hey y'all, so we've got our music jamming today because we're doing sanding, which is really not fun. So you at least need some music to go. So I'm in the sunroom. This is the first time I've seen these windows without those curtains, and they are, gosh, this room is so pretty. The best light. So we fully skimmed this ceiling, and it has dried. It's still a little bit damp, but you can see, I think you see that we've got to do some sanding. But this is what we're gonna do to all the ceilings, and they're going to look so much better. Okay, so we are back in this sunroom. You remember I showed you earlier that there was the first coat that was dry, and now they're starting on a second coat. So Jesus rolls it on. And typically we don't roll on mud, but we've got so much mud to do that we decided to roll it on, and it's actually working pretty well. And then Gio is cleaning it up. Gio is using the knife and basically flattening out and taking off what Jesus is rolling on. Turning our attention to the living room. Now, most of this looked okay, but there was 3 really bad spots. So Gio has scraped them. Now he's mudding and taping them, and then eventually we're gonna mud this whole ceiling. But we wanted to tackle this part first. All right, another day, another ceiling. We are back in this living room. We are really close to having all the ceilings done. So they have started at this end and they're working their way that way. The first time they rolled all the mud in one direction. Now they're running it at a 90-degree angle from the last time they rolled. So you can see Jesus is now running the width of the room instead of the length. And then once again, Gio's coming behind him and smoothing it out. All right, so this is the landing and the stairs. And if you remember, the paint was just peeling horribly. The plaster was crumbling. And so we decided, instead of working on that, we scraped it and we used a thin Luan to back the back of this bookcase. So once it's caulked, Gio just finished putting the pieces in, we'll caulk it, we'll paint it, and it will look amazing. All right, so we just did a light sanding on this one. We've got to get all the dust, cover things up, but for the most part, these ceilings are ready to be primed. So we're gonna use an oil-based primer on the ceilings because there's a lot of stains and we want those stains to go away and not bleed through. So we're gonna get that ready to go. So we have been prepping and prepping. We are finally so close to being ready to start painting. All of the windows and doors are covered in plastic. The floors are covered. We've got one light fixture up there we need to wrap in plastic. The mantle is ready to go. The hearth is covered. It's all covered. And here very soon, we're gonna start painting. All right, so I'm upstairs. Well, you see where I'm in. I'm on the stair landing. And you can hear lots of noise downstairs. Gio's working up here. But we have already sprayed one coat of primer up here. And it really makes a difference. Not everything we haven't sprayed in there, but they've sprayed in here. They've sprayed this trim. Of course, we primed first. And you can see we need lots of caulk and filler, but we prime first because it really makes the spaces that need the attention pop. They're still prepping downstairs, but as soon as that's done, we'll start spraying down there. All right, we have one coat on. You can see that the crown molding and the door trims and the ceilings have all got one coat. It's super painty and stinky in here right now, but my goodness, y'all, that ceiling and that huge crown looks so, so good. We are back. We have got primer, as you can see, on the walls and the ceiling in this bedroom. Super painty in here, painting this room. It's all gonna get white before it gets some pretty color. This has not been primed yet. So just, you can see the difference between this icky cream and fresh white. Okay, so as you can tell, everything is white now. So the last time we were here, we were getting ready to prime these walls. All of the walls have been primed, and we even have a coat of paint, finished paint, on the ceilings. So the living room has been primed. Ceilings are ready to go. The same out here in the sunroom. The ceilings look amazing. So we're gonna keep finishing up ceilings. We're gonna keep caulking our trim, and then we're gonna start painting trim. We are upstairs, and I'm not sure if I've ever even brought you in this room. So this is the primary bathroom and bedroom, and we've sprayed a coat of primer on all this trim. Everything's been primed in here. Everything's been primed in here. And Jesus is in here putting a coat on the ceiling. So he's spraying the paint on, but then back rolling to get it even and thinned out. So today has been one of those days that feels really slow. You work all day and it feels like you don't have much to show for it. And that's because the guys have spent almost the whole day caulking window trim, caulking door trim, just making sure that everything is good. Sanding just a little bit after we've primed when something pops up after you prime, which is why you prime, because it pulls all this out and draws your attention to it. So upstairs, I wanted to show you, Miguel's in here caulking, but one of the things that we wanted to do a little bit out of order was go ahead and get a little bit of wall paint on these walls. And that is because the vanity goes on this wall and it sits about 2 inches off this wall. And we didn't want to have to be creative in painting that later. So we went ahead, got that wall paint on, and this room looks really good. All right, so I showed you a picture of that bathroom upstairs where we had gotten one coat of paint, and the homeowners are concerned because it looks darker than they thought it was. And that is the color that they were planning to use for most of the house. So I have a paintbrush and a paint pail, and I'm gonna get a little bit of that paint and put it in other rooms so that they can see how it looks in other places. So I've gone around and put this paint all over the house. If it looks familiar to you, it's the same color that we used on the trim at the Hyatt house. So here it is in the living room. There it is in the dining room. So it's all over the house. I'm gonna photograph it and send it to the homeowner so that they can see it. Hopefully they like it. So we're back, and I sent all of the photos and videos that I took of the house with the wall color on the walls, and the clients are not so sure. So we have put a hold on painting our walls, and they have selected another color. So I'm gonna put some more paint on the walls. Okay, so we have some paint on the walls, and this yellow is really throwing that off. That is ancient marble. That is the exterior color on the Hyatt house. This is a new color that the clients found called Gossamer Veil. It's a beautiful color. It's got a little more gray in it. You can see both colors on each side of the mantle. And then here are the two colors. So we have made the decision that we're gonna wait till they get here because we don't wanna paint the whole house and then to not be happy with the color. Hey y'all. Okay, so it has been a little bit since I filmed what was going on over here. The last time I talked to you, we had two different colors that we were trying to decide between. And since some of it had already been purchased in the ancient marble, the homeowners decided to use the ancient marble upstairs and to go with that gossamer veil downstairs. We have just finished the first coat all the way around the house. In fact, we've started the second coat of gossamer veil. I think it looks great. Let's go inside and let me show you. All right, here's more of that gossamer veil in the hallway. Again, it's just that first coat, but it just looks really clean. Because we had already invested in 10 gallons of the ancient marble, we ended up using the ancient marble in all 3 of the bedrooms and the bathrooms. And you can see it too is a really pretty color. It's just a little more green. It's a green neutral. Meanwhile, the rest of this house is looking so nice. Do you guys remember when this sunroom had those big dark drapes and these walls were dark blue? And now it's light, fresh. The homeowners absolutely made the right decision on the wall color throughout the house. I feel like when you look at these walls now, you really don't even see the walls. You see all the really nice trim in this house. These huge crowns, the pretty windows and doors. This color flows so well into this green and gray kitchen. Remember when this was red? I love this flow. I can't wait. So we've got to get the back part painted and then we're going to start working on the floors. It's all really coming together. All right, so that was a condensed version of 4 weeks worth of work. The next step is to start refinishing floors, and the guys will be here Monday to start sanding. I love floor refinishing week, and I think you will too. So come back next week and see what else is happening at the Fowle House.